Hi, my name is Stephanie Robbins, and I am the owner of Robbins Plumbing. And today I want to talk to you about one of the trenchless sewer repair and replacement options out there. And that option is called Pacote. And what Pacote is it's a rehabilitation trenchless pipe option. So what I mean by rehabilitation is it's a process in which the existing pipe is used and it remains as the structure, but coats are put inside that pipe that reline it and restructure it. So a new pipe does technically go inside, but it does require the existing pipe to be there. So it's not like pipe bursting where it's blowing out the existing pipe. A Pacote option is a coating, so Pacote. So it is coating, multiple layers go in and recoat the pipe and make the pipe like brand new. So, but it does require that existing pipe to be there. So that's why I call it rehabilitation. It is an amazing option if it's the right scenario for you. So today I want to cover a couple of ways that you wouldn't want to lean towards this option, some things to be aware of if someone else is doing the Pacote, just so you're educated and you know if this is going to be the right thing for you. A plumber can come in with some lingo and you're like, what the heck did you just say? I want to translate plumber lingo for you so you make an informed decision. So Pacote, there are three ways or three typical reasons that you want to use Pacote. One is that the line has a belly in it. So what a belly means is that, so your sewer line goes to grade, and everyone heard that, it goes downhill. So we do want it to be to grade. But if there's a belly in it, it goes like this. So you've got things getting stuck and getting stuck. Every trenchless option on the market, not just coating, not just rehabilitation, is following the path of the existing pipe. So if the plumber that's on site says you have bellies in your line, there is not a trenchless option to fix that. If you have a belly in your line, the plumber that is telling you that it will fix the belly is misinformed, and it will not. It follows the path. Picture a straw and you're pulling a string through it. That is exactly what's happening. So if that straw is bent, the string is bent. Nothing is going to change physics in that scenario. So if you have a belly in the line at that point will absolutely have to be dug up and replaced and put back to grade. The other scenario that you're not going to want Pacote is if the line itself isn't in good enough condition. So typically with cast iron, and we'll pop in a little image here, but the cast iron can rot out at the bottom. So metal and water don't get along over time. And you can have sections of that pipe that are completely rotted out, or the pipe's deteriorated so much that it can't be rehabilitated, it can't be coated, it really should just be replaced. So that's one of those scenarios where you need to make sure that the plumber that's out there is licensed and certified in Pacote, because he has the training to decide whether this pipe section can be repaired or if it needs to be replaced. So typically a lot of times we're gauging that on, okay, 80% of that pipe is still in great condition. Then we can actually pour foam into those cracks, fill them in, and have a great surface to rehabilitate. But if that pipe isn't existing in 80% good condition, we want this to be something that you have a lifetime to really enjoy and appreciate the investment that you've made. So if that pipe isn't in good enough condition, we're not going to recommend trying to surface something that will not resurface. And then 5 years from now, you're still in the same situation that you're in today. The other scenario where you don't want to do a resurfacing or recoating like Pacote is if there's an offset in the sewer line. And that's where a connection in the sewer line drops And this happens all the time. Something will compress on top, and you'll have a clay connection to ABS or that kind of thing, and it'll just make an offset. Like I said before, that equipment is going to follow the path of the existing pipe. So you're still going to have an offset. So if there is a disconnection within the sewer line, that is something that needs to be dug up and replaced, not just resurfaced. So trenchless also has this misnomer or myth about it, or has been misrepresented to say that it is trenchless, but it is not digless. So what that means exactly is you have to have access to your sewer line in order to get this equipment through there. So if you don't have cleanouts, we have to dig up and we have to get access to that sewer line. It's not something where you can run the equipment from a roof vent and make a bunch of turns. The other scenario where you're not going to have, so it is trenchless, you're not going to be digging a bunch of trenchlesses, but you may have to do a pothole. So for example, that equipment's not going to hit a T. So if you have a T and you're running that equipment, it's going to stop here. It's not going to make a turn. Or if you have a 90, it's not going to be sharp enough to make that turn. So you need to be prepared that while it's trenchless, it's not digless. There are many projects that we'll go into and we don't have to do any digging, but more often than not, especially here in the Phoenix area, access to sewer lines that are cast iron and Orangeburg and those older things before the 1980s aren't up to current code. So we do have to make access points, which is, I mean, that's one thing, but looking at the scenario of you didn't have to dig up your whole home, just a few spots within your home makes a huge difference rather than trenching, a couple of 100 feet of pipe. So that's one thing where it's like that misnomer that I want to just get out of the way, and that myth that there's no digging involved, there's no excavation, there's no tearing up concrete. That isn't always the case, only sometimes. So some great scenarios where you want to really look into PCOD or resurfacing or rehabilitating your sewer lines is actually cast iron under your home or business. So 60-year-old pipe, 50-year-old pipe and older, a lot of times here in the Phoenix area, under your home or under your business, under that slab of concrete, it's cast iron. And like I said, cast iron and water over time, well, water will win. It will wear it down, just like it did the Grand Canyon. So that pipe is not in great condition. It rusts. So what was a 2-inch pipe, is more like this. So everything's backing up. You're frustrated. This is that perfect scenario where rehabilitation of the pipe is an incredible option rather than saw cutting up your whole home or your whole business, having to close your business for a week or two. This is that great scenario where it is an incredible option. So what happens in that process is the plumber's going to go out there. He's going to run a camera down that line. He's going to do a visual inspection, and he's going to give, are there any bellies, any drops, like I said, where that pipe has dropped, that kind of thing, or is the pipe in good enough condition for resurfacing? If it is, because it is just so much better for your home and business not to tear it up. So it's something I'm super excited about that exists now, because when I started 20 years ago, it did not. So that's where it's going to go through, and they're going to actually take chains to the pipe and get it all cleaned, and multiple coats go in. It is a really cool process. We actually have a video on kind of just some segments on how that works. Some other situations where it can be really good for a resurfacing is outside for minor root intrusions. If you have clay pipe and it's older, you can actually do preventative on that clay pipe and surface it with that plastic lining. Clay is notorious for, breaking its clay, right? With pressure and everything over time, it will break. One thing that you can do preventative wise is to resurface that clay. So now it's plastic and it's really lined greatly inside with multiple coats. Some other great options is that you have small pieces missing. So let's say a root intrusion outside, and that you've got just a small section, a couple of feet at max, because there's actually the technology where small sections can be replaced and then the rest of the line can be recoated. The only other time it's really not recommended, at least in our professional opinion and the trainings that we have taken, is Orangeburg pipe. Orangeburg pipe does not hold up over time and hold a circle. It crushes over time and becomes oval. So that's one of those scenarios. If you're looking for a trenchless option, you really want to lean more towards pipe bursting rather than rehabilitating a pipe that isn't circular but rather oval. So I hope that this information was super helpful for you guys today. Even if you're not using Robbins Plumbing for your trenchless options, maybe you're not in Arizona, these are things that you need to know. You need to know if you have a belly, if you have an offset, if the pipe is in good enough condition to be resurfaced. And then the other thing I'm going to tell you is to make sure that the plumber that's out there is certified and asked to see his certification. Because just because he's out there with the equipment and he's been trained in-house, you don't have a warranty through the manufacturer. A certification and training has to be presented to the manufacturer and going through a process of cameras and video inspections sent to them so you have that 10-year warranty. So make sure to ask for that so you protect yourself, because this is your home or business and you need to know what's going on. So if you're thinking that you need to have your pipes resurfaced or you're having constant stoppages, absolutely reach out to our team. We will walk you through that process, give you your options, good, better, and best. We want to solve that for you permanently. So just reach out to us at 623-486-4657. You can reach us at robinsplumbing.com and schedule with a little chat box at the bottom, or even send us a message if it's after hours and we'll reach back out to you and get that scheduled. Thank you. Bye-bye.